So today guys, we're going to be showing you guys the best two ways to run the spotter build. If you guys have been watching any of my gameplay recently, I've been using spotter a lot. Obviously, we do have the Intimidate Adrenaline Rush build I've been running too. But you guys know a lot of times you guys see me run spotter. And a lot of people ask me why I don't run the exotic mask. And I'll tell you why in just a second. But that is actually one of the ways you can run it. So I'll be showing you two ways. I'll be showing you my preferred way and then the way I run it sometimes. But I'll tell you a lot of times when you guys are running the exotic mask, you might lose out on a little bit of damage, especially if one of your teammates is running it. So that's just something for you guys to keep in mind. But overall, the spotter build is probably one of my favorite builds. So let's get into it. So this is one way you guys can run the spotter build. As you guys see right here, you guys are looking at the exotic mask, the coyotes mask. And what I'm going to do is I'm at the range, so I'll show you the big difference between the two when you are firing, right? And then we also have police M4. Obviously, you guys always want to run the technician because that allows you to run the link laser pointer, which is actually on your M4, and that causes spotter, right? So it allows you to proc spotter. And I personally like the police M4 with assault rifle, health damage, it damages targets out of cover, and then obviously with in sync, because if you pull out your shield, it's going to proc in sync as long as you fire at the same time, and you'll get that 30% weapon damage. Or you could use a drone like I use sometimes, and then that also helps proc that 30% extra weapon damage. And I run crit chance on everything. So the exotic mask, obviously it always comes with all red rolls, and then I have critical hit damage there. Now, the reason why this only works sometimes is because if you look at the way this mask works, is 0 to 15 meters is 25% critical hit damage, and obviously you're going to hit a lot harder than. Now 15 to 25 meters, you're actually going to get hit less than the other way I run it. And then obviously if you guys are hitting anything 25 meters and further, you're definitely going to be hitting less. Now both of these builds have 1.1 million armor, as I feel like that's like the nice area to do it. Now both of them do run the Fenrir's chest, so they have assault rifle damage, we have weapon damage on here, we have critical hit damage, critical hit chance, and a critical hit damage mod, all god rolls, and then we have spotter, which amplifies weapon damage and skill damage by 15% to pulse enemies. Now you keep going here, this is a piece that will be changing out. This is Cheska, this is going to give us that 10% critical hit chance. We have weapon damage, critical hit chance. Then obviously we have the Foxpair knee pads, which has armor, damage targets out of cover, critical hit damage. We have the contracted gloves, which have armor, damage to armor, critical hit damage, and then that LMG damage. And then we have the Grupo Sombra backpack that has weapon damage, critical hit chance, critical hit damage, and a critical hit damage mod. Plus, it gives us 15% critical damage for the one piece. It has vigilance, increased total weapon damage by 25%. Taking damage disables his buff for 4 seconds. So everything on here is almost identical. There will be 2 blue rolls on the other piece. Now we do run the Crusader shield. Remember, that helps proc in sync. And then you can run a drone to even help proc it more. So that's how we hit hard, and we'll show you how hard I hit. What we're gonna do is I'll show you the other build real quick. So if we go over here, now with this spotter build, this is my preferred spotter build. The only difference, guys, is the fact that I switch out the mask. I run a Cheska mask instead of a Cheska holster. So we're gonna get weapon damage, critical hit damage, critical hit chance, and critical hit damage mod. But in the holster, I like to run the improvised holster, which is gonna give us armor, critical damage, critical chance, and then critical hit damage mod. Now I still have 1.1 million armor because I put a red on the contracted glove instead of a blue on this one. So everything is the same, right? Everything's god rolled except the knee pads, which is at 10.8, but all the pieces on this have their god roll, right? They're exactly the same, nothing different. The only difference is between the mask, and which I just switched out, and then the holster. So what we'll do is we'll start off with this piece first, because this piece is going to be the same no matter whether we're 5 meters, 10 meters, 15 meters, 20 meters. We will be hitting the same no matter what. So we'll put it within 10 meters, right? Now I'm gonna proc it, and on the chest you'll see we're hitting 441,000, right? And now let's go to the head, 687,000. Let's just double check that. So to the chest, 541, and then to the head, 687, and that's all named, right? And you remember, you'll hit this the same no matter what. If you're within 5 meters, nothing really changes. We'll even do 20 meters so you guys can see. So it's going to be hitting the same 541, 687. So no matter what, 5 to 20 meters, and that's why I like it. Nothing changes. This build always hits the same from close range to long range. You will always hit the same. So right here we have the exotic mask. Now this is where it's gonna change, guys. It's gonna change because 0 to 15 meters, we're gonna get that extra 25% critical hit damage. That's what we're gonna be hitting really hard. Now remember, the 15 to 25 meters is where you're really gonna pay attention, because that's gonna be the difference right there. So let's go here. So we're within 5 meters. So it's gonna be the same 5 to 10 meters. And we're within, so this is gonna be with the exotic mask. So we're hitting 565 to the body. All right, 565. So that's already more than what we were hitting. And then, was that 789? 710. Sorry, because that was health damage. So we were hitting 710 to the head, right? So 710 to the head, and then to the body, 565. So pretty solid, right? Now if we go further than 15 meters, and that's where it's gonna change, right? Because we're gonna change. Now this is where the build gets kind of, it's gonna be hitting less than the other way I like to run it, which is same all. So 15 to 25 meters, 10% crit hit damage, 10% critical hit damage. So this is over 15 meters. So let's see what we got. So 535 to the chest. So almost 30K difference than when we're within those 15 meters. And then let's do to the head. 681 to the head, right? And that is why when you do run the build the way I run it, you end up getting more damage from that 15 to 25 meter range. So when you are fighting enemies, which you tend to fight a lot with spotter like this, you tend to hit about 6,000 difference. As you guys remember, we're hitting 541,000 to the body, and with the exotic mask, we were hitting 535 to the body, 15 meters and plus. And then if we do the head shot, we're hitting 6,000 more too. So 687,000 to the head, and then we were only hitting 681,000. So 6,000 doesn't seem like a lot, but it will add up. And like I said, guys, if you guys are running with a teammate that happens to have this, and say they are an SMG player and they're within that 15 meters, you're gonna get that 25% critical hit damage anyway. For this reason and for this build, I just feel like if you guys plan on running the Coyote Mask, if you are fighting within that 0 to 15 meters, obviously you're gonna be hitting a lot harder, right? You're gonna hitting about 20,000 harder on the headshots and 20,000 harder on the chest. Now, obviously, if you guys are fighting 15 meters and more, the way I currently have it set up here is going to help you out a little bit more. So that's just two different ways you guys can run it. I personally run it this way, and I just explained why. And just keep an eye out. You can always look for that symbol. You can always look for the exotic symbol to see if somebody is running the Coyote Mask, and you know, maybe there's somebody already running it, or check your team's build, and then you can swap to it. I personally just keep it on this one. I feel that I fight enough between that 15 meters and on that I'm gonna benefit more either way. So hopefully this video helped you guys out. I always get a lot of questions on this with exotic mask and how I run it with the holster. So this is how I do it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Leave a thumbs up. Until then, nothing but skills out. Take it easy, everybody.